and conductor today. Excuse the wind, we lost our foam piece for our microphone, so it gets a little windy here. This is Katie. She's going to be our driver. She's the engineer. All right, so let's get going.
Oh, going this way.
All of our switches are manual switches, so I'll be hopping on and off of the train as we go. We do have 3 switches to go through, so the train will be going very slow and stopping as we switch them.
All right. Eric makes a joke saying don't fall off in the middle of the road.
Oh, don't fall off in train tracks.
Yeah, I think he meant train track by accident. I kind of wondered this. How are they gonna?
I feel like the guys might grab it and jump. With the kids in the back of the train. Yeah.
Oh, don't worry, soon it'll go forward.
Yeah.
Hey Shelby, look, there's a toilet.
It's from the old days.
Hey, that's your house.
Our heaviest switch is about 60 pounds and our lightest switch is 30. And so this is kind of like my summer workout program.
I think we're about ready to go forward here.
I'm trying it.
Yeah, when I was a kid. Yeah, when I was a kid, I loved trains, but I've always wanted to ride one.
We just switched to the next track.
Of course, Shelby, we all see it.
Yeah. Oh my god, that actually smells like crisp.
Oh. Hey Shelby, did you miss that comment?
What?
Nothing.
You probably don't want to know now.
It's not inappropriate. No, it's mean. When the Emmett movie where we figured out Iron Man and he breaks out. Oh
So this bridge we'll be crossing, it has a waterfall underneath it, and this waterfall stopped dredge mining from continuing on.
Well, Shelby, why didn't you bring your camera? This would have been fun.
I forgot to buy the green one. I forgot the green one.
All of our switches, and we are through our first road crossing. I think we have 4 more road crossings that we have to go through. So, welcome to the Alder Gulch Railroad. This road is these tracks are 1.5 miles long, and this train goes about 5 to 6 miles per hour. So we keep it pretty slow, but it's safer this way. If we go too fast and we took a curve, we might fly off the track. So we have to go slow. This train actually was put together by hand by a man named Charles Bovey, and he had some help of friends, of course, but they put this together. And the train casing, the black part over our engineer, excuse my wind, that black part is actually an old septic tank. So So it used to be part of a water system there. That's fun. We have a 3-cylinder diesel engine inside of this train, and we run on a narrow gauge track. A narrow gauge is just, it's slightly closer together than a wide gauge track, and that's why we don't run like a big steam engine or something else, because those trains run on wide gauge tracks. And if we wanted to run those trains, we'd have to tear up all of our tracks and redo them. Also, another problem with big steam engines is they can't back up like this little one can. So this one backed up and into a Y turnaround and turned around. A steam engine can't do that, so it has to go in a huge loop all the way around. While that'd be fun, it's also a lot of work. So all of our trains here were brought in by Charles Bovee. He grew up around trains. He really, really likes trains. So when he came down here to Virginia City and Nevada City, he was like, we have to have a train. And it obviously worked out because we are on a train now, so he got it working and everything. And he is also the one who brought in our other train cars. When we get down to Nevada City, there'll be train cars down there. I'll point them out. That he brought in. The Transcontinental Railroad actually ends up in Alder. That is 9 miles away, so it's quite the distance. And they didn't want to build the railroad clear down to here, because by the time Alder got its railroad, there wasn't a reason to put it down here, because most of the gold rush was over. Now, gold was discovered here in 1863 by the Bill Fairweather Party. And they were super, super excited when they found gold, and they decided to try and keep it a secret. Well, it didn't stay a secret. And everybody wants just a little bit of gold, right? You want to be a little rich, nice, shiny, yellow rock there. And so within 2 weeks, we had 10,000 people here mining for gold. They were everywhere along the river. It probably looked a lot like an ant swarm. But, you know, they worked with it. Some people got rich finding gold, but a lot of people did not. They only found enough gold to survive. And that's really what they wanted. They wanted enough money to pay for food, clothing, and shelter. And that's what most people got, so they were happy with it. But gold mining is a lot of hard work, and it's not all fun. And so they like to do other things in their free time. One of the things they really like to do is they like to hold balls. And these balls were like Disney princess male peacocks on parade balls. They love their bright colors. They like their huge parties. And some of the balls were just small family and friends, but some of them were really large. They invite everyone they can to these balls, and they love them. Now, another thing for these balls is they liked really, really bright colors. So underneath my jacket, I'd show you, but it's cold. I have a nice pink shirt on, so I would match for the balls. They liked their bright colors. We have in our curatorial center, this is not open to the public sadly, but we do have some ball gowns from the time. And one of the ball gowns is orange and black, which I think would make a great Halloween ball gown. But the other one is hot pink and green plaid. So it's very bright, it's very noticeable. The ladies like to walk around and they're like, look, I'm so lovely, so pretty. You can tell I'm so lovely and pretty because you can see my bright clothes from miles away. And they really like to party. In fact, we have one family, a richer family. They bought their house as a kit. Can you imagine that? Buying your house as a kit, so you just put it all together? It's crazy. And so they bought their house as a kit and then shipped it up and over the mountains. So that's a lot of work. And then they built their house here. And what they did is their house had an extra large parlor area. Now for me, I would use that parlor area probably for a game of Twister. I think Twister is my favorite game right now. Sometimes it changes, but right now I'm like, Twister, let's play. But for them, they would move all their tables and all of their chairs, and they would practice their dancing because all the ladies and all the gentlemen knew how to dance. So they had a lot of fun there. And these people, they liked being really fancy. Virginia City was called the Paris of the West. And so for their enjoyment, they once had a calico ball. And this is not named after the calico cat, though that'd be cool. I think cats are awesome. Sorry if you're a dog person, those are pretty cool too. But they had a calico ball, and it was after the fabric of calico fabric. And calico fabric is pretty cheap. It's kind of scratchy and sort of meh. But for this ball, it was a fundraiser for orphans, and the only rule was your outfit had to be made out of calico. And these ladies and these gentlemen, they're like, well, we can do that. We can be made out of calico and be fancy. And so there was actually a journalist, a newspaper writer who came through, and he went to this ball and he's like, oh yeah, fundraisers are really cool. And then he walks in, he's like, wow. Because I don't think he was expecting much, because calico's really cheap. But he walks in, he's like, man, these people are lovely, and man, I love your shirt, and you guys are lovely, and wow, look at this, all those people are lovely, and you guys are wonderful. And he's so happy, he's like going around, he's like, you guys are great, you guys are great, you guys have the best outfits I've ever seen. So he wrote down in the newspaper, he said he had never seen such imaginative tucks and bustles and ribbons and bows before, made out of calico. And so these people took the idea that they could only have a calico outfit, and they let their imagination soar. They're like, only calico, huh? Well, if I can only have a calico outfit, I'm gonna have the best stinking calico outfit you have ever seen. And they really liked it. Not everything is fun and games. We do have a lot of work here because, you know, it's a mining town. People mine all day, or you're a farmer or you're a merchant. Well, we have some pretty cool people because of gold. Gold brings in some interesting people, some good, some bad, some in between. So we had two main groups besides our civilians. We had our vigilantes and the innocents. Now, your vigilantes, they were formed after a murder trial, the George Ives trial. And George Ives, he was pretty important, I guess, or the trial wasn't very fair. These 100 men get together. Their supposed leader is Captain Williams. Well, they get together and they're like, hey, that wasn't really cool. We don't agree with that. Because it's not very fair. Because it's the Wild West. There's not a lot of rules. And so the vigilantes get together and they're like, we're going to make our own rules. And that's what they decide to do. They all get together and they're like, we're going to have some order in this area. Now the innocents, on the other hand, they were called the innocents because of their catchphrase. If they were accused of anything like, hey, you robbed my stagecoach, how could you? They'd just say, oh no, I'm innocent. It wasn't me. And so they were called after their catchphrase because they always said they were innocent even if they weren't. And now lying's bad. And it caught up to them in the end because the vigilantes and the innocents did not get along. The innocents leader was Sheriff Henry Plummer, and the vigilantes eventually got rid of him and most of the road agents. Because the innocents had a group of road agents, and your road agents are your robbers. They're the ones who take all your stuff. And that's not good because, dang it, I worked hard for that stuff. And so they complained enough that the vigilantes started taking them out, and other law people took them out. So they started to get rid of more and more of these road agents, the robbers. Now in Nevada City, it's pretty cool. We have one house called the Finney House. Now Now this house is pretty cool because dredges came through here looking for gold everywhere. Dredges, huge machines with buckets on front, just scoop up huge amounts of dirt and to go through it to look for gold. Well, the Finneys didn't want to sell their house. And they were the only people who stood in the way of dredges coming through their entire town. Because if the dredges went through, it would have ruined it. So Nevada City is still standing, mostly thanks to the Finneys and Charles Bovee, who brought in a lot of the buildings. The Finney House is still standing in Nevada City. People who owned it have passed on, but it's still there and it's really cool. Their original fence is also there as well. So down here we have our Counting for Gold at the River of Gold. We can guarantee you garnets, but we cannot guarantee gold. The garnets are pretty cool though. I'm happy with them. I also really like quartz. So quartz is the white color stone, and I think it's way pretty, but some people are like, oh, this is useless, and I'm like, oh, well, I'll take it, it's great. So it depends on what you like. So we are coming down into Nevada City. We have to go slow through these switches to make sure everything is okay, and that's why we have slowed down quite a bit. But it's okay, we know what we're doing. So what's really cool about here in Nevada City, when we pull up on the train, you'll be able to see train cars. Not quite yet, but when we turn around this curve here. And we have some on my right side. They are bright orange, green, and red. They're painted nicely. Their outsides look very nice. Their insides are not as nice, so you can't go inside of them. But within 2 or 3 years, hopefully we'll be able to fix up the insides and put stuff in them and have people go in. So those are these ones that I can now barely see. All these train cars were brought in by Charles Bovee. Oftentimes he paid for them to come in on their own rails to Alder, and then he'd ship them down here. We have some red ones that we are coming up upon on our other side. It's my left-hand side here. And these train cars aren't as lucky. We need about $1 million per car to fix them up. But it's way cool, and we're planning on it. We're like, once we get the money, we are fixing those cars. Now, it's really cool for these red ones, because if you look at them, the third one down, so 1, 2, 3. So the next one we're going to go into looking. If you look through the windows, there's actually some stained glass in there. And so it's really pretty. It's a yellow color. This here is the Charles Bovee Visitor Center. It's very nice. Has our flushable toilets and running water here. Please stay seated until the train has come to a complete stop. She'll turn off the engine and toot her horn, and that lets you know that it's okay to get up and everything. Because you are on a direct round trip back, you can just stay seated where you are, because if you sit on the same side, you'll see a different view. We back up the train and turn around, so you'll see the other side of the gulch. So if you saw the mining equipment this time, you'll see the central city the next time. Thank you for riding the Alder Gulch Railroad.